just made. My door is still wearing the wreath, the decoration from Valentine's Day. I am going to attempt to make my spring/summer wreath. Why am I making a wreath instead of just buying one like a normal person who loves themselves? Well, if you don't know, wreaths are very expensive. The ones that I like usually cost at least $60. So, did I go and buy the supplies to make a wreath, and did these supplies maybe cost only a little bit less than $60? Probably so, yes. But we're gonna try to have some fun. Making this wreath is one of the ways that I'm trying to get back in touch with my creativity while also like saving maybe $10 at the same time. So in order to make this wreath, if you want to make one yourself, watch the video before you decide if you want to make it or not, because I don't know. We're going to do what we can do. You're going to need this is called a craft ring. Ta-da! This one is 16 inches. So I presume, yeah, so that's 16 inches, like I think from side to side. All of the things that I bought for this project came from Michael's or Target. So you'll need one of these. You'll also need a foam dome. I think that would be a good, this is a good picture for the thumbnail. You'll also need some kind of stick. So I got this stick that has a little pointy thing at the end. You'll see. I was gonna show you what I was gonna do, but you just wait, okay? It's coming. Then you will need some paint. I chose these two colors of paint for right now. You'll also need some brushes for the paint and some water and a place to put the paint on, you know, the drill. And I'm also going to hopefully attach this cute sign that says hello. My new doormat says hello as well. And then you'll need some foliage, some flowers. So I have 5. I have 5 of these stems. Yeah, I have 5, and I have like 2, and I have 3 darker ones, and then 2 lighty ones, some light-skinned ones, okay? So you'll need that. I bought these on sale. These are very expensive in my opinion, if you don't, unless you buy them on sale, or you can buy them at the dollar store. And then you'll need you'll need a glue gun, and you'll need some glue sticks. I think I will also need a hammer and a nail, 2 nails. So let's try this. Let's try to do this. Before you get started, I also recommend that you cover your table. The table underneath this cheap ass cloth is the first dining room table that's like a serious table that I have ever bought. So I have covered all of it in an attempt to keep it nice and clean. So I'm gonna start with my dome because this thing is a little bit, well, it's quite porous. It's not a little bit porous. It's quite porous. And I have some experience with painting one of these before, and it takes a little bit for it to dry. So I am going to get my plate here, and this is just the paint I'm using. Again, it came from Michael's. This is Pink Blast, and this is matte paint. Now that I've seen that, maybe I should have gotten some sparkly paint, but the flowers are going to cover this for the most part. So I'm going to take some paint, okay. Oh, it looks like Pepto-Bismol. If you've had gas before, you know what I'm talking about. And you're gonna need a lot, okay? Just start with that. And then I'll take one of these little craft brushes. This is a foam brush. I guess you could also spray paint this if you wanted to. I do not feel skilled enough to use spray paint. So I am going to use this foam brush. So I'm just gonna paint this whole thing pink. I'm going to paint just the outside part. I'm not gonna worry about this side. So just this side. The next step is going to be to paint the hello sign pink also. And since I already have the pink paint out, I am going to just paint this. You can see that the edges of this is like dark brown, and I want to try to preserve that. So I'm going to carefully paint this. This is the hello sign, the hello script part painted. And only the front will be shown on the wreath. So now all we have to do is paint this part. So I'm gonna paint this part green. And I'm actually gonna leave this part unpainted because maybe I can use this for another wreath in the future too. All right, so here is the green wooden part. I only painted the top. I tried not to paint the sides. So I need to figure out how to get the bloom part of these off. I'm looking at them more closely and they're not like some other ones that I bought, but they do have these little notches. I can see that, but like right here. So to remove the flowers and the leaves from this type of artificial floral, all you have to do is bend at one of the joints, as you see that I'm doing, and then twist. And after you bend and twist, it will pop off just like that. So you just repeat the same thing, just bend it and then twist. And it will just pop off. Let me know in the comments if you know what to do with the stemmy stem parts. I'm gonna keep them because I feel like you can do something. If you have an answer, please comment and let me know. Pow, 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 pow. Rat-a-tat-tat. We're back. Now it's time to plug in the glue gun and not do any violence, because glue guns are not violent unless you don't want hot glue on your hand. All right, so it took about 30 minutes for all of this stuff to dry. I had time to go like answer several emails. But yeah, so our stuff is dry. So this is our dried pink foam thing. And we didn't paint this. Remember, we didn't paint this. We have our glue gun heating up right here on the side. And then we have our stick. So I just went into my utility cabinet to try to find some little short nails. And I do not have any. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to try to assemble all of this just with the power of Target brand hot glue. How that's gonna go, who knows? That's why you gotta watch the rest of the video and see how it all turns out. So to attach the flowers to the dome, you can take a little drop of hot glue and kind of go around the hole that you make. So first use the stem to make a hole in the dome. Take the stem out and then use the little dab of hot glue and then stick the stem back in it. So using the hot glue makes it secure. You can see here that I am like pulling on these and they don't just fall out. If you don't secure the flowers with the hot glue, you kind of run the risk of them falling out because remember it's going to be hung up like that. So make sure that you use the hot glue. For the stems, for the plant stems, the leaves, the stems are not very sturdy. So I discovered that you can use a takeout, like Chinese takeout stick. What are these things called? a chopstick. You can use a wooden chopstick or something else that has a similar diameter, and you can just repeat the same process. So as you can see here, I have used the chopstick to make the hole, put the hot glue over the hole like I did with the flowers, and then I arranged the greenery around it. You can see that I arranged the greenery kind of at the bottom, which will be closer to, I'm laughing at my face, which will be closer to eye level, right? I did not have enough greenery to do the top as well, so I just focused on the bottom where people would actually be able to see if something was missing or not. So next we're going to start to assemble kind of like the bottom of the sign. So as you remember, I have the green stick and then I have the pink hello sign. So all you need to do is measure the total width of the bottom part. So if you're using the exact same things that I'm using or the same method, so just basically measure the width and then make sure that the word part is centered. For me, the challenge that I had with this is because I did not have the right size nail, I had to try to make sure that I only put the hot glue on the part of the word sign that would stick to the green part. So as you can see here, I used a ruler just to make sure that it was centered. So after I had everything centered, I just did my best to put the hot glue on the parts of the hello sign that would stick to the green stick. So as you can imagine, this was very difficult to do. And not being an expert crafter, I really cannot tell you a better way to try to do this. As you can see, it is a little bit clumsy, and I accidentally glued it a little bit off center. So I actually had to kind of quickly adjust it as best I could. You can see that I kind of struggled with this, but I did the best that I could, and I finished putting just gently lifting up the hello sign like you see I'm trying to do, and putting the glue on just the parts that touch the green bottom part. So if you know a better way to do this, you know what, the better way to do this would actually just to have some tiny little finishing nails. But I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I did not have any very small nails. So what you can do, once you get it centered, you would want to mark on your bottom part where the center lines are, and then put the glue on it like turned over, like you see that I'm doing. That's easier than trying to like lift it up, and you can better gauge exactly where to put the glue. So once you're done putting the glue on, just turn it back over and gently press. And then it will eventually work out. If I can do it and figure it out, I think that you can too. I have faith in you. But make sure that it is adhered and that you press gently to just make sure that the hot glue is sticking the parts together. So you can see there that I did make a little bit of a mistake. If you do the same thing, you can just paint over it. But in the end, it will turn out to look pretty nice. So the next part is to hot glue. That's the theme of the video. We are going to hot glue the orb to the craft circle. So as you can see here, I am putting a generous amount of hot glue on the foam orb, or whatever this thing is called. It's like a half circle, half sphere. So, I mean, just lay it on, just lay it on real thick, the hot glue, and then adhere it to the craft circle. So just gently press it down after you have put the glue on it, and then you can carefully flip it over after you have pressed it down for a few moments, just to make sure it doesn't move around. But you can then carefully flip it over and then very gently just press a little bit more to make sure that it is secure. After you've waited a little bit, you can carefully pick it up just to make sure that both parts are glued together and that they are going to stay together. I was very impressed with the fact that it was sticking together. The next step is to glue the green stick to the craft ring. To do this part, you will need to line up the green stick part exactly where you want it to be on the craft circle. And then you basically want to trace where the top of the green stick will hit the craft circle and put a line there. Use a pencil or a thin marker to put a line there. And do it on both sides like you can see that I'm doing here. And then also trace kind of where the craft circle is going to be underneath the green stick part. And then transfer that area to the back. So you can see I'm basically just following that line and putting the line on the back of the green stick. So you put the line on the craft circle so you know exactly where to put the green stick down after you've put the hot glue on it. And then you transfer the line on the back of the green stick so you know exactly also where the glue should go. If you put these extra lines, it kind of helps you to make sure that you only put glue on the green stick where it is actually going to touch the craft circle. Again, if you have some finishing nails, some tiny little nails, just use those nails. But if you are trying to do it the complicated way using glue sticks like me, then just trace these lines on your craft circle and your green stick, your bottom part, whatever you're gonna be using, and that will help you to make sure this thing stays together with just hot glue. So as you can see here, I have basically traced what the craft circle looks like, kind of like the inner ring and the outer ring, and I've traced that onto the back of the green stick. So now I have an exact template to show me where to put the hot glue. So I'm going to reload my handy glue gun with a new glue stick because we need some more hot glue. We need a lot of hot glue. And then it's very easy. You just fill in that traced area, like your little template of where the craft circle is going to touch the green stick part. So you just fill it in with hot glue, and you can see that I'm pressing down the new glue stick. I'm doing that so it'll come out a little bit faster. This is a really cheap, like dollar store, Target glue gun, so it's not the best. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting the glue out quickly before it dries. So now I'm just flipping the green stick over and lining up all of those lines. So remember, we put lines on the front of the green stick to show exactly where to line it up on the craft circle. So I can pretty confidently just like lay it down and press it down and wait for it to adhere. So just gently press it down several times to make sure that it is adhering, and then leave it to dry. Here's the final product, at least for tonight. I think I'm gonna just stop here and I will go and get a nail to better secure the hook to the orb. But basically this is what it'll look like hanging on the door. I used a lot of hot glue to make this. So I think it's very cute. I'm very proud of it. I will insert a picture of what it looks like on the door. So I hope you learned something. I hope you learned about the power of hot glue. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.